to RightOn, the game show where mistakes are okay, and sometimes you gotta be wrong to be right. My name is Camilla. I'm a sophomore at George Washington University, majoring in public health, and I'll be your host today. So here's how the game works. Before the show, each of our contestants received the same questions. They were given time to figure out the correct answers, and then were challenged to come up with trick answers. Those trick answers were then combined randomly with the correct answers to create voting slides. Your job as the audience is to try to pick the correct answer and not be fooled by our contestants' trick answers. The more a contestant's answers trick the audience, the more points it gets. For everyone at home, if you haven't already logged into our voting platform, please do so now with the code at the bottom of your screens. Okay, let's meet our contestants for today. We have 3 wonderful students from all over the U.S. Ashley from Redwood City, California, Ariana from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Andres from Modesto, California. Ashley, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Ashley. I'm a senior at Sequoia High School in Redwood City. I am a Boys and Girls Club member, and I have a dog named Houdini.
Thank you, Ashley. Now let's meet our next contestant, Ariana.
Hi, I'm Ariana. I go to Carver Engineering and Science, and some of my hobbies are running and video games.
Welcome, Ariana. Now let's meet Andres.
My name is Andres. I go to Central Valley High School, and I like to play guitar, and I have 2 pet chinchillas.
Wow. Thank you, Andres. It's great to meet all of our contestants. Good luck, everyone. Our first game today has 5 rounds with 1 question each. Okay, let's play RightOn. Here's our first question. Zendaya's name comes from Shona word Tendai, meaning to give thanks. In what country is Shona one of the most commonly spoken languages? Samoa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, or Kenya? All right, voting for question 1 has now closed. Zendaya sure is amazing. Did you all see her at the Emmys this past weekend? Okay, let's see how everyone voted. So first we have Botswana. Then we have Kenya. Next we have Samoa. And last but not least, we have Zimbabwe. Now, the correct answer is Zimbabwe. Now, let's see what contestant came up with each answer and the points that they received. So, Ashley received 10 points. Andres received 16 points. And Ariana received 16 points as well. Now let's take a look at question number 2. A group of students plants 1 tree on day 1, 2 trees on day 2, and 1 additional tree on each following day. How many total trees will the students have planted from day 1 to day 100? Is it 100? 5,050? 600? Or 9.33 times 10 to the 157 power. Again, contestants will have 30 seconds to answer the following question. Okay. Voting for question 2 has now closed. This is one of those questions that might look hard initially. You can totally do it by breaking it down into smaller parts and look for patterns though. Finding the total numbers of trees planted after 100 days is like adding all of the whole numbers between 1 and 100. Sounds a little difficult? Well, check out the following video.
On the far left is 1, and the far right is 100. If we add the first and last number in the sequence, 1 and 100, we get 101. If you look one step in from these numbers to 2 and 99 and add them together, you also get 101. Move in another notch to 3 and 98, and they also total 101. This pattern continues throughout the sequence of numbers until we meet at the center with 50 plus 51 equals 101. We've seen that arithmetic statements can also be encoded with shapes. To make the pattern perhaps a bit more obvious, let's picture the numbers 1 through 100 as little squares. The number 1 is represented as 1 square, the number 2 as a stack of 2 squares, the number 3 as 3 squares, and so on. All the numbers stacked up one next to the other form a sort of triangular staircase. The task now becomes to count the total number of squares. Previously, we used multiplication to determine a number of tiles arranged in a rectangular shape. But now we don't have a rectangle, but a triangle, which we don't yet know how to deal with. Perhaps we could find a way to turn this triangular shape into a rectangle. We could divide the triangle into 2 parts right between 50 and 51. We could then take those 2 chunks and fit them together like puzzle pieces to form a rectangle. The single square is moved on top of the stack of 100 squares. The 2 squares are on top of the 99 squares, and so on, all the way down to the 50 squares on top of the 51 squares. Moving around this piece hasn't changed the total number of squares. We simply worked to rearrange it into a form we could more easily deal with. The figure is now a rectangle that has 50 squares across and 101 squares running up the height. Multiplying 50 by 101 gives us the total number of squares, 5,050.
Pretty cool, huh? Now let's see how everyone voted. %, voted for 100. 20% voted for 9.33 times 10 to the 157 power, and 20% voted for 600. And last but not least, we have 50% voted for the correct answer, again, 5,050. Now let's see what the contestants came up with. So Andres received 10%, voting for 100. Ariana voted for 600. And Ashley voted for 9.33 times 10 to the 157 power. Good job, Ashley and Ariana. It looks like your trick answer got the most votes. Let's see a short video on how you both came up with it. Viewers at home, many of you voted the same way, and maybe you thought the same way too. So let's see.
Hi, my name is Ashley and I'm a senior at Sequoia. I am a Boys and Girls Club member. The answer I thought you all would choose is 9.33 times 10 to the 157. The correct answer is 5,050. To get the correct answer, what you have to do is you have to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and continue on up till you get to 100 days. An easier method of getting this answer is by using the sum equation, which is n times n plus 1 over 2, which would give you 5,050. I thought you guys would choose my answer because I thought you guys would get confused on the adding part. So I thought some people might multiply instead of add, and that if you multiply up to 100 numbers, then you would get 9.33 times 10 to the 157.
Wow, Ashley, thanks for sharing. Okay, is everyone ready for question 3? Here we go. Paletas are a summer treat in Mexico. Popular flavors include key lime pie, watermelon, and pepino y chile, which is a combination of what and chili? Is it cucumber, lime, pickle, or green pepper? Again, contestants will have 30 seconds to receive this question. Question. Question 3 is a keeper switch, which means that each contestant has a chance to decide to keep their original answer or switch to another. The scoring is simple. You either keep the points of your original answer or get the points of the answer that you switched to, which could always be higher or lower. While everyone at home is voting, our contestants locked in whether they were keeping or switching. Let's see what everyone decided, starting with Ashley.
I chose to keep C, which pickle. Yeah, I chose to keep C.
Now let's move on to Ariana.
I'm gonna keep mine, which is D.
And last but not least, what did you decide, Andres?
I decided to keep B.
Okay, now let's look at the voting results. So no one voted for green pepper. No one voted for pickle. Wow. And 14% of people voted for lime. And 86% of people voted for cucumber. And the correct answer is cucumber. Now let's look at what our contestants decided to go with. Ashley decided to go with pickle. Ariana decided to go to green pepper. And Andres decided to go with lime. Now let's take a look at question number 4. To the nearest whole number, what is the minimum perimeter of a playground that has an area of 64 meters squared? 32 meters, 8 meters, 16 meters, or 28 meters? Contestants will now have 30 seconds to complete this question. Voting for question 4 has now closed. Most of us remember playgrounds, but let's see who in the audience was able to come with the minimum perimeter and not be tricked by our contestants' trick answers. But in the meantime, let's ask you a few more questions so we can get to know the contestants. So, if you could be a number, what number would you be?
I think I'd be 7 because 7 is usually counted as a lucky number?
I think I'd be 4 because I'm always 4 on the attendance sheet.
I think I'd be 26 because that's the day of my birthday.
Okay. I think I would be 13 just because it's also the day of my birthday, but it's also a lucky number and kind of my angel number as well. How about I ask you another question? This is kind of a interesting one. If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
I think I would be able to change probability.
Why?
Because I don't know. I just think it's cool. And also, if there's a chance of something happening, I could basically bump it up. And yeah.
Okay.
I think I'd go for like teleportation, just cause you can go anywhere, anytime.
And you, Ashley?
I think I would do the ability to shapeshift so I could just get into places.
Wow. Okay. I think for me, I would be able to read minds just so I can know what people are thinking. Now let's see what the audience have voted. So no one voted for 28 meters. Sorry. 24% voted for 16 meters. 38% voted for 8 meters. And 38% voted for 32 meters. And the correct answer is actually what no one voted for, 28 meters. Now let's look at what the contestants came up with. So Ariana came up with 16 meters and received 24 points. Andres received 38 points with the answer 8 meters. And Ashley came up with 38 points as well with the answer 32 meters. Nice trick answer, Ashley and Andres. It looks like you got yours the most votes. Now let's look at your video explanation.
The right answer for this one is 28 meters. I believe a good trick answer would be 8, since people might think that they have to multiply 8 times 8 since it has a squared symbol.
So, Dr. Gladys West worked in mathematical modeling of the Earth's shape, served as the foundation of what technology? Is it nanotechnology, compass, GPS, or rotational dynamics? Welcome back. So, question 5 is a keep or switch, just like question 3, which means that each contestant has a chance to decide to keep their original answer or switch to another. Remember, the scoring is just like the same as last time. You either keep the same points of your original answer or get the points of the answer that you switched to, which could always be higher or lower, depending on our audience vote. So now let's look at what everyone decided, starting with Ashley.
I chose to keep my answer, which was D, I believe.
Okay, now let's move on to Ariana.
I decided to keep my answer, which was nanotechnology.
And last but not least, what did you decide, Andres?
I decided to keep my answer, which was B.
Okay, now let's look at the voting results. So 11% voted for nanotechnology. 11% also voted for rotational dynamics. And 22% voted for compass. And last but not least, 55% voted for GPS, which is also the correct answer. Okay, now let's see what the contestants decided to go with. So Ashley decided to go with rotational dynamics. Ariana decided to go with nanotechnology. And last but not least, Andres decided to go with compass. Okay, it looks like the final results are coming in shortly. Are you guys excited? Yes. Okay, now look at the final results. With a total of 100 points, Andres, you're today's winner. Congratulations. We have 2 prizes for you both. First, a 25 gift card to buy snacks and supplies of your choice. And secondly, a pay it forward prize, $25 gift card for any teacher you choose. Thank you again, Andres, and thank you to all your teachers out there. Congratulations again. Now, great effort, everyone. And thank you to all of the contestants playing tonight and also the viewers watching. We go live every other Friday, and our next show will be on October 9th. If you like to be a future contestant, please apply at the link on the bottom of your screen. Now have a great night, and until next time, Right On.